Hello, pet parents. It's me, Dan from Dan's Pet Care, and I'm here to give you a quick update on some things that have been going on in our facility in the past 2 weeks. We've had a number of dogs that have shown symptoms for kennel cough. So what we wanted to do was kind of run you through the steps we're taking to ensure the dogs in our care are safe, your pets are safe, and what we're going to be doing moving forward. Now, to start off, we will be suspending daycare services as of today, Friday, April 26th. And we will be reopening daycare services Thursday, May 2nd. Now, again, we're doing this out of an abundance of caution. And the main reason we're making this video really has to do with transparency. So one of the reasons I started this facility and one of the core competencies of what we're trying to do here is have a full level of transparency. Now, in my research and in my preparation for opening this place, I got to speak to a lot of people who've worked in a number of these facilities, and I've heard a lot of concerning things. A lot of things aren't being relayed back to pet parents in terms of their pet's health. I've heard some really nasty stories, and unfortunately, a lot of facilities in this space are franchises with absentee owners. There are owners who are really just in it for the money. There are people who just aren't prioritizing the well-being of pets. And at the end of the day, the number one reason I do what I do is because I love animals. And that is the most important thing about everything we do when it comes to caring for your pets. So in terms of the temporary shutdown, that is the main focus. Now, I want to run through what is kennel cough, what are the symptoms of kennel cough, what to look for, how to treat it. Again, I'm not a veterinarian, but I've spent years working in animal hospitals, and we have consulted with multiple vets in preparation for making this video for you, as well as making sure all the pets in our care are getting proper veterinary treatment. Let's jump in. What is kennel cough? Kennel cough is officially known as infectious tracheobronchitis. Now, this can present in a number of different ways, and it can be caused by a number of different things. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, my dog gets the Bordetella vaccine, they're protected. Similarly to with people, when we get the flu vaccine, it protects from a number of strains, but doesn't stop all of them. So it's something to keep in mind. No matter what, when your dog is socializing, there is always a risk. So whether it's at a daycare facility, at the dog park, or even just a play date with a dog you know, it is always possible. Now, kennel cough, while highly contagious, is very, very treatable. It's something that we take very seriously because of the infectious nature. But again, we want to do everything we can to make sure all the dogs that we interact with, and in general, all the dogs in our community are happy and healthy, which is again why we're taking these precautions. So kennel cough can be caused by a number of viruses or bacteria, the main one being Bordetella bronchoseptica, but it also can be caused by canine parainfluenza virus. Again, it's very treatable. It's highly contagious, but we want to make sure that we're taking all the necessary steps and giving you all the information so that you as a pet parent are fully aware of all things relating to kennel cough. So you're probably wondering, how can my dog get kennel cough, right? Like many respiratory illnesses can be transmitted a number of ways. One being droplets in the air, so sneezing, coughing. It could be through contaminated surfaces or direct contact, which is why a place like a doggy daycare, a dog park, even a play date, again, can be a place where your dog can get it. But remember, this is a very treatable illness. Most dogs recover pretty quickly. Sometimes your dog might not even have symptoms. Now you're probably wondering, Dan, it's called kennel cough. What are the other symptoms? Well, I'm going to tell you. So the first and most common symptom is coughing. Now it's not just a little, you're going to hear more of a honking noise, but it can start as a little. There is a great way to check. You apply a little pressure to your dog's throat and you pinch right here. And when you do that, they're going to talk. Just kidding, they're not going to talk. But if they do have an infection, it is possible where they're going to let out a little because of the inflammation, the irritation being caused by the kennel cough. That is one way to check. Now, you're also going to be looking for sneezing. You're going to be looking for any sort of discharge from the nasal cavity. They can have lethargy and loss of appetite. Now, your dog also might have a slight fever. Now, this time of year, especially in the spring, the summer, lots of pollen, a lot of people wonder, well, is my dog sneezing from allergies or is my dog sneezing from kennel cough? You got to think about the scenarios they've been in, right? Have they been with other dogs, especially new puppies or a rescue that recently came from a shelter? Those are the most common places you're going to get it, where you've got dogs that have been in large groups. You're going to have it where new puppies have been coming out. It's one of those situations where you want to be mindful of where your dog is, but remember, as long as your dog is vaccinated and you're treating your dog, if they do have kennel cough, they're going to be fine. As long as it's caught, it's something that is highly treatable, and we want to make sure that you have this information. Now, treatment, for the most part, is typically handled with a 10-day cycle of doxycycline that will often be aided by a cough suppressant. The doxycycline will be used to fight the infection, and the cough suppressant will suppress the cough. Also, if your dog does have kennel cough, make sure you give them time to rest. Make sure they're getting plenty of fluids. They're gonna be lethargic sometimes. Some of them might not be. We have plenty of dogs who have had symptoms who are running around at home and have plenty of energy. But again, make sure you're mindful, keep an eye on your dog, and you know your dog best. You know if your dog sneezes when they go outside. You know if your dog kind of coughs sometimes. If there is a change from their normal baseline behavior, that is going to be a good indicator of, hey, maybe I should go get my dog checked out. When it comes to this stuff, it's very important. Err on the side of caution. If you're like, maybe they're coughing or maybe they're sneezing a little bit more, it's way better to err on the side of caution. Go speak with a veterinarian and they're going to give you their feedback and they're going to let you know what's happening with your dog and put them on the proper treatment protocol. Now, when this happened in our facility, what we did was, first thing, anyone who showed any symptoms, they were immediately isolated. So we have quarantine areas in the facility to make sure that any dogs are not showing symptoms are separated from those who are. And then we brought in our on-call veterinarian, Dr. Henriksen from Manhasset Animal Hospital. He came and checked every single dog out. And with the permission of all pet parents, we started them on their doxycycline as well as their cough suppressants where necessary. Again, we want to always be able to take quick action. That's why we're in constant communication with you, the pet parent. And we also want to be able to provide you with actionable information. All right, so let's talk vaccinations and their limitations. So as you know, vaccinations are not foolproof. We always want to make sure that we do vaccinate our pets, regardless of whether or not they're at our facilities. But if your dog does come to our facility, we do have a list of vaccines that is required, but Bordetella is the main one. Now, just like the flu, vaccines will not always protect against every possible variation, but what it does is it does provide support. It allows your body to respond better than if they hadn't had the vaccine. So it's very important to make sure your dog's getting the Bordetella vaccine. Now, remember, the vaccination is not entirely foolproof. It's absolutely possible for your dog, even if they've been vaccinated, to still contract kennel cough. Now, there's multiple ways for your dog to get it. It can be done through an injection, it can be done nasally, or it can be done orally. It's very simple, very straightforward, but your dog should get this done about every 6 months to make sure they're protected on a consistent basis. If your dog is in a social setting, it is incredibly important to get them vaccinated for Bordetella. It's something that, look, I get it. We all have busy lives, but vaccinating your pets is incredibly important for their safety and well-being. And remember, that's our number one concern. Safety, safety, safety. So you're probably wondering, Dan, what are you guys doing to make sure this doesn't happen again? Now remember, there's no way we could 100% guarantee a dog doesn't get kennel cough. No matter where they are, if they're socializing, there's always a risk. But we do everything in our powers to mitigate those risks. So number one, all pets who come into our facility are required to have the Bordetella vaccine, along with a number of others. We are always cleaning. So we use a solution called Kennisol, which is used to be able to fight things like this. So our facilities are clean top to bottom every day. Now, in response to the recent kennel cough outbreak, what we are doing is we are actually, as we've told you, we are shutting down for daycare so we can deep clean every inch of the facility. We want to make sure that every piece of equipment, every fence, every corner, every nook and every cranny has been soaked with Kennisol and cleaned thoroughly. Cleaning is of the utmost importance when it comes to maintaining a safe environment for your dogs. As we always have, we do conduct thorough health checks of all pets coming to our facility. Now, we are going to be adding one additional step. So when you come to the facility, there's going to be either a QR code or a questionnaire that one of our team members asks you, going through a number of symptoms. Has your dog been coughing lately? Has your dog been sneezing excessively? Has there been any discharge from your dog's eyes or nose? Have they seemed lethargic or have they had a loss of appetite? This is, again, something we're going to be doing moving forward to ensure that we can do everything in our power so that kennel cough does not come into our facility again. Last but not least, staff training. Our team knows what to look for when it comes to kennel cough, which is how we were able to catch this so quickly. We are continuously making sure that our team is always on the lookout, but also receiving constant training on all things pertaining to your pet's safety. moving forward, as we did, your pets, if showing any sort of symptoms, will be isolated for their safety and the safety of other pets so that your pet can receive medical attention and other dogs are not exposed to the kennel cough. Going back to transparency, which I mentioned in the beginning of this video, we would never hold back anything about your pet's current well-being, any potential exposures, or anything like that. My goal with what we're trying to build here at Dan's Pet Care is something that doesn't compete on price or the special service or anything like that. I want us to do such an amazing job delivering our services to you, the pet parent, and your dogs, that it forces all of our competitors to raise the bar. I believe that the pet industry has kind of been at a standstill for a long time in terms of the quality of care. Many of you have been to our facility. When we give you a tour, you see everything. It's not just here's the room we want you to see, or here's this special thing, or here, watch this video. We want you to know where your pet is. And unfortunately, not everyone in this industry feels the same way. There's plenty of facilities where you'll see, oh, here's this room, or here's this suite, or here's this. They're not going to show you everything. And they're not going to tell you every time your pet has been potentially exposed because they're trying to mitigate risk on their end. I would rather lose money for weeks on end knowing that we are not putting anybody at risk and giving everyone time to get healthy so they can come back and play. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing to me, and my favorite thing in the world, is when I am able to go out of the office, I can go see a room full of dogs having fun, or I get to go on a walk with a client's dog, or go check on their rabbit or their turtle or whatever animal it is we're caring for. Our number one thing that we are focused on is we want to force this industry to get better. We want there to be great options across the board. So whether you're using us or another company, demand transparency. If you think your dog has been exposed to kennel cough, ask the facility you're at, hey, did any of their dogs have this? Talk to people in your community. You should expect only the best from the people who are taking care of your pets, and you should not accept anything beyond full transparency, constant communication, and everything being done with your pet's safety in mind. Basically, this video is a notice to everyone else in the industry. I know you love animals. I hope you love animals, but it is something that is incredibly important. Be transparent with your clients. Make sure you're doing everything in your power to make sure your facilities operate to the best of your ability. Those of you who are absentee owners, you better have some good managers in place, because I'm going to be honest, we're going to keep growing. My goal is to get to 100 locations, and that will impact your business unless, and this is my goal, because I welcome competition. I want to compete. I want you to make your business better. I want you guys to raise the bar. I want you to bring the best services possible so we can compete and continue to drive this industry forward in a positive light. I know that you guys can do better. Every day we wake up striving to improve what we're doing. We're going to take the next 5 days and figure out what we can do to continue to improve. And I hope you guys do the same thing. So again, pet parents, ask questions, hold people accountable. If you have questions for us, I'm here. You could email me directly, dan@danspetcare.com. If you have a question, I will personally respond to you. But again, everything we do is for your pets, for their safety, and we thank you. We thank you for your trust. We thank you for allowing us to spend time with your pets, and thank you for your business. And we hope to see you soon. We'll see you Thursday, May 2nd for the reopening of daycare. And if you have any questions, again, feel free to email me directly, dan@danspetcare.com. You can visit us, danspetcare.com. We're here to answer your questions. Again, we're here to be transparent, and we thank you for your trust.